Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. I'm your host for LG Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is season 10, episode 10. 1010, where you been? If there's any 90s R&B lovers out there, then y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyways, I do appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Happy Sunday to you. It's a new week, and it's Thanksgiving week. So, I appreciate you for coming to my channel. Like this video. You can also subscribe, share this video with friends, family, foes, whoever. Also, you can leave your comments below. Now let's get into this episode. All right, so my first thing I want to acknowledge is that I think that this was a good episode, really from start to end. I'm not just going to say what happened at the end is like the reason I actually liked the episode. No, it seemed like we had enough movement going on that didn't make the show boring to me. I do know that a lot of you all don't really enjoy Trisha that much, and probably first impression does leave a lasting impression, as it's been said to us. I do think that she's opening up more, and when last year when she came, I said, I don't know, Mr. Carlos, with her. Shout out to Mr. Carlos and Kingdom Reign Entertainment. But sometimes, a lot of times, you got to just really trust the process with Mr. Carlos King, because obviously the good outweighed the bad, in my opinion. So she has time with her friend Sharon. They go out to eat someplace, and she expresses that how she even felt about going to therapy. She was mad that she had to open up certain things, but it was actually good for her to do that. And I think that that's pretty good, because she had to really retrace, and how she actually lives her life is that she doesn't really want to relive some of the things that she's really bearing on the inside of her. Sharon, I think, is a good friend. Did I really appreciate how that one scene that she had with Trisha's husband, whatever she is or whatever? No, because it just seemed like you were butting into something that you maybe should not have, but you seem like a very ride or die type of situation, type of friend. I think that you would do that, and I think you go hard for your people. I really do. And I think you're decent and you're good for her. You've been patient with her. You and Ken have been patient with her. I'm not even saying Ken has been 100% perfect, but hopefully that you start to see that although you seem alone because you don't have your parents around, you have some people that have come to hold you up. I don't even want to say replace. I just think that they are your support people, because nobody can really replace what you've lost. But you can gain something. First, you got to lose to win again. Shout out to Fantasia. Yeah, that's what I'll just say. Sharon says that, well, first, Trisha admitted that she doesn't really open up to people. And Sharon was like, duh. A tough cookie to crack. It took her a very long time to actually open up and say some things to Sharon about her life, but Sharon stuck it out. I'm kind of like that myself, but I think for other reasons. Like, hopefully I won't be this way forever, but to know fully me, you probably never will. You're gonna know enough, and it's not under some type of secretive type thing, but I'm just going to hand out some crumbs to you and see how you deal with me, and then we can go from there. So, but yeah, I think it was a great conversation. Trisha's starting to feel better. I mean, sometimes you just got to go through the ugly stuff. You know, when you really want to heal a wound, and I'm talking now from a physical place, but we can also use this as a medical stand, a metaphor stance. You know, when you are healing something, it's going to hurt. Try messing with a scab or something that you see physical on there. Sometimes wounds will just act right if you don't touch it. If you keep putting the right bandage or whatever, it's going to stay there, but as long as you don't touch it, it's okay. Once you start touching it and actually dealing with it, yeah, it's going to hurt, it's going to hurt, it's going to hurt, and eventually it's going to dissipate, and the wound will be gone. And I think that that's where Trisha is. So I can appreciate her wanting to get her life together. It may have taken a reality show to do it, but she needs it, and so does everyone that's connected to her. Needs it for her. Yeah, so that was good. Kimmy has a little outing for the ladies, excluding Nell, and we'll get into that in just a second. But they're going to a place, I think, to make soap. So you got Trish Kimmy, of course, Tisha, and Destiny. Destiny's the latest one, and you know Destiny gonna always rock a ponytail. I ain't hating on it. I just want to see some variety because Destiny, you portrayed this like fashion beauty type person. So let me see all your creativity, not just in your products, but in you. But it looks like it's just an easy thing to slap on and let's film the scene. So can I be mad at you? No. However, I would like some variety. Trisha thought, oh, we're going to do something physical, right? Kimmy's like, no. Trisha's been on Kimmy a lot about let's do something physical and all that. And Kimmy's like really brushing her off or whatever. Now, Kimmy, you are probably reaching your 50s. You might want to revamp that a little bit. Just saying. Just for, look, our bodies are not getting younger. They can get better if you apply yourself. And I apply myself. All right, so they get in there, and the only topic of discussion was Destiny because we have to rehash this Lance situation again, and it looks like we're going to keep rehashing it for at least a couple more episodes. Everything was good. They did start asking Kimmy, okay, so why was Nell not there? Kimmy says that, well, Nell's going to be having her Fletcher Istavis? Is that how you say it? At the game night. And she didn't want this event to make her late to her event. And at first I was just gonna let it go. But I'm like, Kimmy, I'm gonna give you some sound advice and things that I had to learn. You can't think for other people. You can't tell how another person is supposed to be or whatever as far as making decisions. Are there certain things at a level as with your spouse or significant other or maybe a child or something? Yeah. But to assume or to try to dictate to another person based on what you think a person is able to handle? No. You have to, in this sense, learn honor and respect. It would not have killed you or killed Nell for you to ask and give her opportunity to accept the invitation or deny it. Because you look quite shysty in not inviting her. And I know that we have mixed reviews about Nell and all that, but in this episode, I'm calling out the BS on both ends. And I'm not going to favor anyone over anyone. No. Because the foolery was real and it was loud. And there's no way I'm going to just be biased. But yeah, you could have given her opportunity to deny it. And we're going to find out later that Nell does feel a type of way. And she says that I've been excluded again. If you can trace back patterns at how Nell feels like when she's not really included in stuff. And y'all still want to keep that together, even though you said that we all got to come together, Kimmy. That sounds very hypocritical and also looks like y'all really don't want her in the group. That's what it's showing, whether that's the truth. And you'll have to eat that, in my opinion. So after Destiny says what she needs to say, she said, well, it's good that you didn't really invite Nell. I mean, I know Nell doesn't want to see Tisha. And that's when they segue into what Nell said after Destiny said that Tisha said that you left LA early because Lance was having a baby. And Nell said to keep my name, to tell Tisha to keep my name out her MF mouth. And then Tisha's like, oh, what is that? I thought we were on the same page. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I just don't understand what that's coming from. Okay, if you're going to be on that, then I can be on that, you know. Kimmy's like, well, maybe you should have a conversation. Like, I'm good on that because Tisha also said that I don't really want to try because I thought that we were good. I will say this from Nell, for Nell. We'll get to that. I'll get to that. But it's just like, I don't think that Tisha did anything wrong when she said something to her friend. Of course she's going to say something to her friend if it's been said. However, y'all fought. This is the thing that happens. Y'all like jump into like Tisha's just being messy all of a sudden. No. Tisha and Nell fought this season. And then they mended things. Tisha said what all she said to Destiny before they mended things. Nell just went off a natural reaction of what Destiny was telling her. And now Destiny's playing telephone about a situation, about that. And now things have been reverted back without Destiny not knowing that Nell and Tisha were in a better place. And again, Tisha said that beforehand. So now, I mean, look, we had our force multipliers on the scene today. So anyways, it's time for the friend Istavies, if you want to call it that. I don't know how to say it right. Folk is showing up. Kimmy does have a conversation with Nell, just talking about what she had going on today. And didn't invite her. And then we find out that Nell is just feeling away because she's being excluded again. And I would feel some type of way. Does Nell fit into that group is the question. Guys are a totally different thing. I mean, Chris just gets along with, I don't know. Chris gets along with them for probably several reasons. And we'll leave it there. Folks are coming in, Trish, Ken, all that good stuff. I think they were asking about Destiny. Yeah, because one thing them Scots gonna do, they messy. And Maurice is messy. And they're asking about Destiny and Lance. Are they gonna be coming together? For whatever reason, Nell was under the impression that Lance and Destiny would be coming together. Then they're making jokes. Oh, they're gonna be riding together, but they friends and all that. Ugh. Destiny comes in and peep this. We thought it was gonna be Twan. No. Behind door number 3, Will. Will, who is, what's his name? Ken's friend. You know, that we've been seeing for a while. Now, Will, you have been in Lance's face, too. Just to let you know. However, since I know what show I'm watching and the part of the world this is coming from, I know it's just going to be about Destiny being a hoe. When it's all said and done, that's all they're going to say. I'm going to say this to you, Destiny. Yes, you can date who you want to date. You've grown, da-da-da-da-da. Do you think it's really cool to sit up here and just date a whole friend circle or people that you connected by? I would think that would be the only thing somebody could speak upon. Even though you're still grown, you can do what you want. But the optics are not just going to be in your favor. But Will, you were in his face. Because I believe you came to his barber place or whatever. Because all the men came together before. I do see how production is slowly entering people in, and I'm liking it. I'm liking it. They're ushering other people in to kind of fill in the void, because Scott's 2.0 and 1.0, it's over for them, really, if you want to know. I don't know if this is love and marriage material, but however, we're getting new characters in to kind of fill a lot of spots. Martell has nothing going on. Martell gets mentioned. He's there. He has his coat over some type of hoodie that looks like there's a picture there. And we see that there's a picture of him and Ariane. He says, I wasn't really covering it up. I just had my coat on. Da, 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 da. So they're like, oh, so y'all a real thing. Yet again, we got to hear this. Even though I don't want her on the show, at this point, are y'all going to bring her on the show or not? Because I just don't feel like talking about it. You know, like all y'all do is just talk about the same thing about them. And now, ooh, y'all together. Ooh. Shut up. Yeah, but anyways, back to Destiny. Then, guess who pops up next? Lance. Lance brings his date. But not a part of the friend circle. You know? That is probably different. I just think that Destiny should move differently. I don't care as far as, I'm trying to say this right. I'm not saying don't date. I don't care if you got 3 suitors, 5 suitors, and all that good stuff. I think you gotta watch how you move if you're gonna be dating. Sorry. But anyways. The festivities, they begin. They have this game of, I don't know, I forgot what it was called, but basically you have to flip a cup over and put a ball in there, meaning the ball is on top of the red cup. On its bottom, you're supposed to turn the cup over and get the ball in the hole. But it's kind of like you gotta lift the ball, like get the ball to spring up a little bit, and then for the cup to catch it. Maurice's team was winning. Then they do a spoonable chairs, meaning if you've ever played musical chairs, they are now going to be going around in a circle picking up a spoon. Whomever doesn't get a spoon is out. That type of thing. So it came neck and neck to Maurice and Martell. Not Maurice, Marceau and Martell. Marceau ends up cheating. He had another spoon in his pocket. And he brought that out. So basically Martell won. Martell in his confessional is being shady and talking about, look, he was talking about the things that all around you can tell that Marceau's a cheater. That's nothing that to be unexpected. Okay, Martell. And when Marceau starts clowning on you again, okay, if you're gonna get in your feelings and think that you need to start sharing more information. But anyways, now the ladies are trying to push Tisha to have a conversation with Nell. And she's like, no, I don't really want to do this. Well, I don't care, you know. So they go outside. Kimmy goes and gets Nell. Nell was like, what's up? Nell be on ready because she knows how these people are. And I think that's kind of cool, whatever. Anyways, she goes outside and they really wanted to talk about, okay, you said I needed to keep your MF name out of my mouth. What's up with that? Yeah, I said it. And what? And it's about the whole situation with Lance and all that stuff. And Nell was like, well, I need you to keep my granddaughter out of this. And I'm like, Nell, stop. This isn't about your granddaughter. And as Tisha was saying during this whole conversation, I don't care about your granddaughter. I'm talking about what you said to us. And we get the flashback of you saying that y'all had to rush out of LA because Lance was having a baby. And now you're trying to say it like, keep my kids out your mouth, or a grandkid. It's not that. We're talking about Lance's behavior and his movement, that you're trying to protect your boy. And now you're trying to deflect and do all this crazy manipulative stuff and now put the shield up of, don't talk about my grandchild. And Tisha's like, you did say all that. So why are you sitting up here? So what happened, since you just don't even want to talk about it? What happened then? And she said, I don't owe anything to you. True. But you did tell us something. And let's just make it clear so that we could, I guess, move on or something from this rodeo that you really started us on. Tisha didn't lie on you. And then now Nell wants to talk about, everybody got problems around here. Y'all just not going to focus on me. It's a little gang up. At that point, that was BS to Nell. Now, the part where I feel like it was BS on them is when they started saying that you were yelling. As far as what was shown on screen, I'm going to go by that. I didn't hear any yelling from Nell until after Kimmy threatened her. And as you maybe have seen from the scenes, from the previews, she said, Kimmy told Nell, if you're going to keep hollering at me, I'm going to drop you in that pool. Whatever the exact word was. But, you know, you're going to end up in that pool. And that's when we knew that there was probably a fight breaking forth. During the course of the conversation, Nell did not react until Tisha was like, but you told me! That's when I saw her getting more escalated. This is from a woman that usually goes from 0 to 100. So it's easy to put that on her. I can't say that she did. Then, as moderator Kimmy, she was getting frustrated at Nell because Nell is not cooperating and just saying what needs to be really said. So then Kimmy starts talking out of frustration. And Nell reacts. And it's not even at a yelling level. Y'all put that hostility on Nell, and I think that wasn't fair. But anyways, at that point, it was on. When y'all started, when she felt threatened. And all I heard was just yelling after that. And she was like, you ain't gonna put me in no pool, I'm gonna put you up in there. Da, 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 da. So we get in the confessional that Kimmy says that, look, I don't do too well with anyone yelling at me. And despite how people think that I'm just cool, calm, and all that, no, I'm not. She talks about how her dad was abusive to her mom. And he would always be yelling and all that good stuff. And something happened to the dad. I don't know if he passed away or not, but when things got better for the mom, she said that she would always protect her mom. Blah, 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 blah. So it's a trigger when people start yelling at her. Again, I did not see per screen that Nell was yelling at Kimmy. And again, I can only go by what is on my screen. Could Nell had done that? Yes, because we know that Nell can go from 0 to 100. But she still held a lot of restraint during this whole conversation, even through all of her BS. So then when things kind of calmed down, Kimmy ends up apologizing. Look, I don't do too well with yelling, da, 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 and I apologize for even saying I'm going to put you in the pool and all that. It wasn't meant as a real threat, but it was. But I can see where you thought that I was threatening you. And then Nell did the same by apologizing to her. She accepted it or whatever. Nell says that normally it takes her a minute to calm down. Eventually she'll come around to accepting apologies and saying sorry, but since Kimmy was able to see where her wrong was right then and there, she was able to embrace that, and then they were able to apologize and get on. Because Kimmy also said that she was hurt. If you really heard what Nell was saying, she was hurt because she didn't expect that to happen out of Kimmy, of all people. She thought Kimmy was fair. But then both 1.0 and 2.0 was trying to say, oh, you was hollering, you were yelling, you were that. We were trying to have a conversation. And I felt like that was gaslighting. I do feel like that part was gaslighting. And that is based upon what was shown on screen. If anyone can give me anything else, I promise you I will change my view. But as of right now, it felt very gaslit. And then to add on the fact that y'all didn't want her at this event, the optics aren't looking good, 1.0 and 2.0. And specifically Kimmy at this moment. It's not looking like you really want to be around her. I can only be honest right now. And I was going to deliver this fairly. I'm going to give Nell something, and I'm going to give Tisha and Kimmy something. Tisha wasn't too wrong. Only thing that I don't know about this whole yelling situation. But yeah, Nell, you're full of ish concerning your son. Kimmy, and I think that you're full of ish for some of the stuff that you did and what you helped escalate in this situation. But anyways, at least that part was handled. But next week, Miss Wanda's back, so we got our force multipliers, and that's how we got stuff popping. So I appreciate you for coming. Tell me your thoughts. Am I wrong? Am I right? Who do you side with? Who do you think was wrong in this situation, that situation? Does Destiny need to just revamp the way she dates? Not saying that she's got to give up her men, but should she be dating a whole friend circle or people connected to the circle, or go outside of it? Y'all let me know. Again, happy Thanksgiving week, whatever you're doing, wherever you're going. Safe travels, and hopefully you connect with ones that you want to connect with, and cuss out the people that need to be cussed out. And remove yourself from the situation and don't return from it. How about that? All right, please be sure to like this video, comment, subscribe, share. And until the next one, peace.